All right, we are recording. All right, so here we are. We are in Photoshop, guys. There's two ways to find it. The first way is to open up your Windows tab and scroll down underneath A, because Photoshop is an Adobe product, so it'll be underneath the A's, and you find the logo that says PS and then Adobe Photoshop, and you can click on it there to open it. Or you can also, if you see on your screen this little icon, it's called, sometimes it's up here on the desktop. That's called your Adobe Creative Cloud. If you click there, you'll get a screen that pops up and looks like this. You don't have access to managing apps. What? Your work, discovery. Oh, you know what? Mine is a little wonky. I need Mr. Fisher to fix it. But normally, underneath apps, you'll have a list of all the Adobe products that you have access to. Mine needs to be, I don't know what it needs. It needs something with administrator privileges. So Mr. Fisher's going to have to take a look at that. But you guys should have your list. Does anybody have trouble getting to Photoshop? If you do, let me know. I was telling the guys that were here earlier that you can, once you have Photoshop open, you can actually pin it to your taskbar down here by right-clicking and clicking Pin to Taskbar. Mine says Unpinned. That's if you want to take anything away. And you can put any of your apps that you most frequently use. Just open it. And while it's open, you can just right-click on the little icon tab down here and hit Pin to Taskbar. And then the next time when you log in, all you have to do is just click right there. Photoshop does take a long time to upload, and the reason why is because it uses a lot of RAM and space on your computer. So give it some time to upload. Don't start clicking until everything has uploaded on your computer screen, or 9 times out of 10, the program is probably going to have a stroke and it won't be able to open up for you, right? It's going to have some issues. So give it some time. You got to be patient with this one. All right. So here on your main screen, every time that you guys open up, there are these hands-on tutorials. If you guys want to learn or teach yourself more about Photoshop, you guys can click on these tabs. And down here, there's a whole list of different things that you can do with Photoshop. This one talks to you about how to select a part of an image, how to duplicate objects. Yep.
My laptop isn't letting me log in.
At all?
No.
I wonder if it's. Can you log? You could log into your Chromebook though, right?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if Mr. Fisher needs to take a look at it. That's weird. You use the same password?
Yeah.
The temp and then your date of birth?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 2-digit month, 2-digit date, 2-digit year?
Yeah.
Mine required you to change my password.
Yours required you to change your password. Is it prompting you to change your password?
No.
Huh. Let's email Mr. Fisher and see if he can take a look at it today. Are you going to be in 306 all day?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to email him. Fisher. So you can log into your Chromebook, but not the laptop. She's in room 306. All right, so I just sent him a message. All right, so let's continue on. So these are ways that you can learn more and more about the program. So if you really like Photoshop, you can click on any of these. Over here on the left, this is your home page. We're already we're on the learn page actually. This is if you want to learn something. The home page has additional things like building your skills. It also on the home page shows you your most recent project that you have been working on. So and you can keep on scrolling down through all of the photos that you may have edited in the past. So that's a great way if you were just working on something, you can click on it here. That's underneath the home page. Many of you guys probably don't have anything here if you click on the home page. Learn is to learn more about it. Lightroom is another Adobe program. It is not downloaded on your computers, but we won't be getting to Lightroom. Lightroom is another photo editing software, and you can automatically put it into Photoshop. Cloud documents, if you save anything to the cloud, you can pull stuff down from it. It's kind of like using like Google Drive. And you can also look at your deleted files. So I say this all the time to students when they cannot find stuff. If you can't find something, check to make sure that you didn't accidentally delete it. And this is where you're going to be able to find that. You can also create a new file and open old files from here. Another thing that you can do from this main page, across the top, you have a variety of different, you have a taskbar at the top. And this taskbar has a bunch of different options that are in here that we're going to go through throughout the year. One of the big things that you guys are going to look at is, or that you're going to use, is this part. This is File, New. So anytime that you guys are working on a new Photoshop project, right, you need to create a new artboard to create your project on. So like you guys are here in class, if you were taking an art class, right, you would get out maybe a sheet of paper to make your artwork on, right? We're working digitally, so you're going to actually open up a new document to work in. So we're going to click on New, and you guys can go ahead, those of you guys that are following along with me and have your computers, you can click on New. And every time that you click on New, it's going to ask you, well, what space do you want to work in? Like if you're an artist that's a painter, right? How big of a canvas do you want? That's what they're asking for you here, and they're asking a few other technical things that have to do with digital artworks, or digital photography, which is what we're working with here. So there are some already custom, artboards, and this is pretty much based off of sizes of generic paper, because normally you create something in Photoshop and then you print it, right, so that you can see it or post it up somewhere. So we're going to go over here to the right, and we're going to talk about a few things. The first thing is pixels. And this, every time that you look at a digital photograph, it is made up of a series of tons and tons and tons of pixels. Remember when we learned about the different parts of the camera, and you guys learned about the LCD or the sensor that's in your camera, yes, right? It's 24 megapixels, meaning it's 24 million pixels, or little tiny squares of color. So it's reading all the color in your environment, and it's 24 million of them per square inch. So the more pixels that you have, the higher quality your photo is going to be, and the bigger you can print it. And we'll get to that a little bit bigger. But pixels are just a measurement of light or color per square inch in your photo. I'm going to change this to inches. I like to work with inches so that this tells me the width of my project and then the height of it. You can also pick generic ones that are here. I like to, like 5x7 is a common photo size, right? When you guys order your photos from the photographer at school, a lot of times they ask you like what size. So that's there. Then how many pixels per square inch, your resolution. So remember how I told you guys you need to have a lot of pixels in order for it to print nicely. Same thing is true as if you put it up on the internet. Have you guys ever taken a picture and it looks like a bunch of like blurred square dots?
Yes.
Or yeah, so like that means that it has very low resolution or it doesn't have a lot of pixels per square inch. Anytime you are printing, you want at least 300 or higher of pixels. And I want you guys to always have this at 300. If you are just going to put it on your Facebook page or put it on a phone app, 72 is fine, but 300 is best for printing. Color mode. So there are two different styles of colors, right? There's RGB, which is like mixing paints, right? We use red, yellow, blue, or red, green, blue is how we see color. And then there's also CMYK. If we are going to be printing our projects, you want to use CMYK. If you are going to just put it up online, you want to use RGB. You could also have it be grayscale. And we'll talk about bitmap and lab color as we get into photography too. But for now, you can just leave this. I like to always put it at CMYK because if I'm going to print it, I want it to be that. And you can also pick your background, like what color you want for it. I like a transparent background, but you can pick a background color if you click on this. Right, and then you can choose like I want a red background for my project. I want a blue. Right, you just scroll up and down with this bar here. So this is just opening a fresh new document. I'm going to keep mine white. And then we're going to leave this alone down here and we're going to hit create. Once we have kind of told the computer this is how big of a space I want to work in. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys about orientation. This is if you want your paper vertical or your artwork horizontal. So it shows you those two options. Whichever one you click, it's going to create that. So go ahead and let's do your default, if you're following along with me, the 300, a CMYK, and we'll just leave our background white for now. So I'm going to hit create. You don't have any deleted files. I'm going to go back to home. All right, give it a minute to upload, see how slow it is. All right, now I have my document area and I can actually now start editing it. So here across my taskbar is still here. So I can open up another project. I can open a new project, an existing project. There's a variety of different things. I can also save if you want to save something that's here underneath file. And you can even print from here or you can exit out. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that's in between, but we're not going to get to that yet today, but we will eventually. Edit is if you want to like copy paste something, and there's a variety of different tools that are in here. Your image. So this is called your artboard. And we can place photos on top of it. We can edit photos in here, but in here, if you wanted to change your image size, say, oh man, I don't want to use that 5x7 anymore. That's here. You can adjust that. So just because you opened your file as a 5x7, it doesn't mean that you can't change it. You can always change it later. So that's our taskbar. Then over here on the left, this is the fun part. These are your tools that you get to work with. So there's a variety of different tools, and we're going to go through each one each day this week. Actually a few of them at a time, but there's things like the paintbrush, and down here is your color picker. This is the color that it would paint in. Woo! Right? So you can paint on your page. And every time you pick a tool, so I just took my paintbrush tool, up here across the top, you'll see that this changes. So if I click on cropping tool, right, this changes the next toolbar that's here. And that's your options bar. So every tool has a variety of different options. So for example, your paintbrush could be, if it's not in here, no, oh, wait, no, I don't want that. I want reset, or is it reset tool presets? Okay. It might take me in. There we go. And here I have a variety of different, that doesn't look right. A variety of different tools that are here. I can switch the tool. So this is the paintbrush. I could switch it from here, or I could just click over here. I also have your brush size. So like maybe you want a big fat brush, so bring your size up a little bit more. Maybe you don't want it so soft like this, so bring that up. And then, do you guys see the circle? Right, this circle, as I bump it up, it gets bigger or smaller. Right, the circle is the actual brush that's there. So, and there's like text tool. There's all different kinds of fun stuff that's there. So this week we're going to really focus on our toolbar and getting to know our tools. And then also too, we're going to learn over on this side, we have a variety of other things, and these are called our palettes. So just like you guys mix paint on a palette, artists in digital form, they use palettes over here. So we have a color picker, so we can pick our colors. This is our color palette. We also have a layers palette. So if you want to build stuff on top of one another, like collage, right? You could do that here, and we'll talk more about that tomorrow. So big couple things that we talked about from the home screen, right? You can learn, you can see your old files, you can see anything that you deleted. We learned about our taskbar today that has how to open up a new file. And we learned about some of our tools today, as well as up here, there's also additional items that we can use for each tool. And then we have our panel that's here on the right. So that's what we learned about today. Tomorrow, when you guys come in, we're actually going to start using some of these tools and making some projects. And I will give you guys your first project to do in Photoshop. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Do you guys have any questions for me? No? Okay, so you guys can go ahead and log out of this. If you like what you did, you can always hit Save As. Make sure you save your work often. Photoshop does not save like Google Forms, okay? So if you want to save it, I like to save all my stuff to my drive. So I go to my drive, and I don't know if you guys have your drive set up on there, but if not, you can I would save it maybe to your documents or even your desktop. And then I would title it like practice, and then make sure that you know where you're putting it, and just hit save. Okay. I'm not going to save this for now. I'm going to just exit out of this. No, I don't want to save before quitting. Cool. All right, so we'll do some more with Photoshop tomorrow, and get your projects in. Get them in.